When I was 12 years old, I played a lot of baseball. Played a lot of baseball as a kid, my whole life. And I distinctly remember a moment when I was 12 years old and we were practicing. My dad was our head coach for most of the years I played, and we had an assistant coach named Bruce Cutzinger. And I still remember something that happened. I'm now 52, and so this would have been 40 years ago, and I'm on the exact field where it went down. If you know anything about baseball, you know I'm standing pretty close to where a shortstop would stand in the game of baseball. And we were practicing one day, and a young man hit a ball, and the ball came ripping through the infield, and I kind of did one of those like flag waves. You know, I kind of put my glove over and went like, well, it was going to get through anyway. So this is during practice, mind you, not a game. And Mr. Cutzinger came out and laid into me. "Evans, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, there was a line drive that I couldn't get to, so I let it go to the outfield." And he goes, "Don't you ever do that again." And I said, "I can't catch every ball." He goes, "I don't care if you catch every ball. I care if you try." And you talk about, I'm 52 and I can still feel the emotion of that moment when he said that to me. And I thought, all right. And so from that day forward, man, I was like a whirling dervish. I was like the Tasmanian devil. If it was within 100 feet of me, I'm diving, rolling, sliding. And he taught me, accidentally, a really valuable, very biblical lesson that day 40 years ago. I want to give you a verse from the book of 1 Corinthians. Paul is talking to the Corinthians, verse 9:24, 1 Corinthians 9:24. And he says, "Do you not know that in a race, all the runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it." Now, clearly, Paul's not talking about being a good shortstop. What Paul's talking about is being a good believer, being a Christian, being a faithful follower of the Lord Jesus. And in that verse, I think he's echoing that idea that we talked about in that story, and that is, you may not win. You may not win every race, but you got to try. You got to try every time with all you've got. And so as a dad, when we are leading our families, one of the things that we want to do with our families, especially our children, is encourage them to try and to not let them get super hung up on whether they catch every ball or make every play just the way they want to. But instead, are they running in a way that they might run, that they might win? Even if they don't win, are they running in that way that they might win? And so, Dad, that leads us right to this week's mission. Especially in our American culture, we want to win. We want to win, and success is probably the grandest virtue we think is worth obtaining in our culture. And I have a good friend named Jeff, and Jeff likes to say, "Hey man, we're going to do effort, and we're going to leave results up to God. We're just going to do effort, and then we're going to leave results up to God." And I think what we need to do this week in our families is let's pivot toward that with our kids. Our kids probably sense from us that the results matter. The grade on the test. Did you take the garbage out on time? Did you win the game? Did you become class president? Did you get the job? Did you, that's often what our kids feel from us as like success is, did it work? Did they win? And what I would love to encourage you to do sometime this week, reward your children for effort. Reward them for effort. And you can use that verse, 1 Corinthians 9:24, and say, "Hey, this week, I know you didn't win. I know you didn't win that race, you didn't get that thing, but man, you ran in a way like you could have. You put yourself in a good position. Nice work on the effort." Just this week, could you encourage somebody in your family, or maybe it's at work, where you tell them, "Hey, nice job on the try, on the effort." I dare you to do it, because you're not a father on accident. So go be a father on purpose.